Okay.
I'd like to call this meeting, Ocean Highway and Port Authority together for Wednesday, August 24th at 6 p.m. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to be together this evening. We thank you for the many blessings you give us. Father, we ask that you be with us tonight as we go through our meeting, that all that we do will be acceptable to you and to the benefit of our citizens. Father, we ask special blessings on our military men and women, our first responders, protect them as they protect us. All these things we ask in Christ's holy name. Amen. Amen. Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Hannah.
Here.
Commissioner Franklin.
Here.
Vice Chairman Cole.
Here.
Chairman Fullwood.
Present.
And Mr. Kwiatkowski is absent tonight.
Yes, he is. He's in Georgia. All right, no comments? from the
None.
audience? Approval of minutes for August 10th, 2022. What's your pleasure?
Discussion, I'll make a motion.
Motion made to approve
I'll second that.
and a second. Any discussion? Be doing a better job. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. No port attorney report since he's not here. Pierre, you up early. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let me say before you do that, while you're getting ready. The Fernandina News Leader does a best of the best every year. I think it's more than once a year, is it? Once a year, okay. Where they go around, people vote on the best restaurant, the best this, the best that. This year, and it's not the first time, our accountant got best accountant for best of the best. He also he was voted, they were voted best place to work. So you must be doing something right down there, paying a lot of money.
I hope.
Congratulations, Beer. Of course, we've always known that. That's why you're here with us. All right. All right, you're up.
Okay, so you have the draft of the budget that we passed out at the last meeting in your meeting packets,
Yes,
but we'll start there.
yes.
As discussed, the quarterly fee. And obviously, we have in there 9% right now. As discussed at the last meeting, there'll be a budget resolution at the October meeting, once we have the actual cost of living change, and so that will become that number subject to slight change, but it should be slight. I mean, it's very 8.1. I mean, maybe slowing down, maybe not. So obviously, as I said, 9% increase for next year. So the fixed fee increases to $297. The miscellaneous income is the $2,000, which we've been in discussions with, and the bond agreement does call for a $1,500 annual payment plus any reasonable fees. So the question is, I'm pretty sure it's the port operator that's supposed to pay that. So do we need to bill them? Do they just need to pay us? What mechanism do we need to do that to get that done?
$1,500 plus reasonable fees, and what would the reasonable fees include?
So I'm not sure.
Okay,
So that's something that, kind of Patrick will have to speak to. Is it anything related to the bond? It's a bond fee, it's an annual fee for the
Right,
bonds.
right.
So anything related to the administration of the bonds, certainly anything beyond that, you'd have to ask Patrick as to how far that can go or what kind of fees need to be included.
and is that till the bond is paid off? I think it is.
That's annual, it doesn't say
Right.
when it ends,
I'm
but yes,
sure.
annual, as long as the bond exists, I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's just an annual fee.
Okay,
So that's why the 2,000 is stayed in there. as I said, we're looking at, again, what the process is, working with the bond counsel. Patrick wrote an email to the bond counsel asking what mechanisms is that, how does that work? What mechanisms do we need?
Right, I saw that.
Right. The next two are the expected ARPA. So the ARPA reimbursement will continue to monthly, or not monthly, every 3 months. We're sending invoices to ARPA for the wages, and we'll start in a couple months. We'll start with the security. So the security contract was, we specifically, it needed to be redone, obviously, so we redid it, but we followed the federal procurement process.
Right.
Specifically so that we could submit it for ARPA reimbursement. So we'll be able to, those flows will be coming in. And so we expect next year to be able to bill, to recover from ARPA $296,000. In the same way, so obviously the master plan, we will not give the, obviously the master plan will not be finished and billed by September 30th. So it's going to stretch into the next fiscal year, which starts on October 1st. Remember, this is half, so we expect there's about 90-some thousand left to be billed on the master plan. Obviously, only half of that comes in as reimbursement. We just got, oh, sorry, that was the before one. We just got $64,000 yesterday, which was our most recent ARPA fund reimbursement. So several weeks ago, we got the reimbursement for the master plan. So everything is moving forward. Those reimbursements are coming in regularly.
So the 64,000 we just got, it's included in this 296.
No, that's next year. The 64,000 not included in the 153,000.
Oh, I got you.
So that will show up on the next month on the year to date collection. So it's not included in that 153.
So how do you calculate the amount for next year? Because isn't there a period that would be the year it's not like following? Or is that the balance of the ARPA?
No, that's the wage. So that's what we think we're going to submit to the ARPA for wages and security reimbursement.
Pretty cut and dry, yeah.
So then would there be any left over for the following year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we've only got, so we year to date, we've got 210, 300 next year. That still leaves approximately 300, 800 total. Oh, sorry, 200.
Good.
Okay. So the next two, I don't know if Dave, you want to talk about those two, the cruise revenue and the harbor admin.
So the cruise revenue that we put in there is just reflective of the one vessel that's already asked to come in November. Yeah, we should also come in to a port of call November 8th, I believe it is.
Yes.
It's the Ocean Explorer. So we put in based on the new tariff that would be. And then the harbor administration fee, port administration fee is what we also put in the tariff that we're assessing against each vessel that comes in. And, so that's an estimate based on the amount of ship traffic we expect based on what we've done this year. So that's just an estimate. We think it's pretty close.
And we could always amend the budget if need be later on.
What we did not put in here, if we have time to tighten up between now and then when we vote on it, we would probably want to give them some number. It's be a big number, but we also included a bunkering fee in the tariff for the first time. I don't think it's gonna be a big number, but I would let you see, we don't come up with some estimate what that might be, right?
Okay, so those are the revenues we expect next year. And then moving on to expenses, obviously the commissioner salaries are fixed per the OHPA charter. So those haven't changed from previous years. Same thing, payroll taxes remain unchanged. Those are the payroll taxes related to the commissioner salary. Unemployment, and then we put in for conference and travel. This is non, so there's a line below for David, commissioner of travel, conferences and travel, then our liability insurance, and then the board attorney. Now I'm looking for, I've asked Patrick for a better number for next year as far as what his expectations are for for what his billing will be in next year. So given the cases or the things outstanding and things he's working on, what is, 30,000 is what we budgeted as just our standard. It has been our budget. So,
That's his base salary.
yeah, that's the contract salary. Obviously, they
Contract
have all the
salary.
additional costs. And so I've asked him to come up with a number, so I didn't get that number for him. I'm waiting for that number, obviously, for a better number. We expect it's gonna be more than 30,000. The question is how much, so.
Should you list it under board attorney salary or have another? Court cost?
Well, because not all of that is fault. Isn't some of it?
Yeah, I mean, so this is I'll change the description to legal expenses.
Okay.
This is all legal expenses, whether we bring in a court
That way,
reporter,
including the salary.
outside attorney, this is legal spending. So
Okay.
it's not meant to be just Patrick's. This is
Got it.
all our legal spending.
Yeah.
So I will change that from salary board account
Okay,
to legal fees.
so without the knowledge of those legal fees, the total commission direct is 163,570.
Which is the same budget we had last year.
Expenses,
So
yeah.
I expect, as I said, I think we need to budget at least 30,000 additional for Patrick, but
Yeah.
that's just a random guess. I'm waiting for him to
That's
give
still
me a
under
better
200.
idea of how much that'll be. So,
Okay.
Just to explain the 156 and the 30,000 for members of the public that are other people that are just tuning in. That we had upwards of 40 lawsuits involving the previous operator. Last year. 40 separate lawsuits. So that's really not, when you think about it in the context of that much litigation, that's really not a lot. But it is crippling to this board.
And hopefully that's over.
Well, some of this is the pilot payment, which is
Yes.
with the city,
That
and I don't
will
know the breakdown.
continue.
part of it is the property taxes.
Property tax. Lawsuit.
So some of these are, yeah.
But the property tax case only arose because of the statements made in the other litigation, right?
That's what we're arguing, yes.
And that's what the property appraiser stated.
So that's why we think we're pretty good there. But we'll see.
All right,
Okay.
so on to the next section. So we have the executive director. Salary, that includes his overhead, so that's his base salary plus his payroll taxes. No, not his expenses,
I see it now.
his payroll taxes, so this is his salary.
Gotcha.
And the employer contribution to payroll tax.
Gotcha.
We do the same thing for the office administrator.
Yeah.
That is the office administrator's salary, plus the payroll taxes, so they're just included in one line.
And the business development, that's his expenses, yeah.
Right, and then there's 1,000 for travel, so there's $5,000 for miscellaneous expenses.
We might want to reallocate. that if we need to reallocate that also too, but
Okay.
Total
Yeah.
percentage.
Yeah. The accountant. And then, so we already talked about the office administrator. I believe that includes a little bit higher that we have for you, Renee. Is that the higher amount? You,
On the 23,000,
that was including, that was like, because then with David coming in, we increased your amount
Right.
of time, right?
right?
From 20 hours a week to 30 hours a week.
Right.
I don't remember if that 23,000 includes the 30 hours a week.
I think it does.
Yes, I think it does. So. Then we have $4,000 for miscellaneous expenses for the office, so that's the software, the paper, the printing, et cetera. And then we have a small amount for office administrator travel. On the occasion where she needs to do something specific, so. So that's all the commission operations. Questions? Comments and changes?
No, keep moving. We'll go right back.
Okay, so commission discretionary, so these are like the TPO membership, the Nassau Chamber membership fee, the special district fee, obviously the special district fee, that's not negotiable, you have to pay that.
Right.
The TPO membership obviously is a decision, but so we budget the same amount, and the same thing, Greater Nassau Chamber of Commerce. We budgeted the amount. And then we have advertising, so if we need to have special meetings. Although I think now we can post them on the website, so we may not have any advertising fees anymore.
Most of them,
Well-
we'll have to advertise something, but
Right, like special meetings.
special
and-
meetings.
So, okay, then we have $120 for awards and presentations. That's just something we always have in budget. Obviously, with several commissioners leaving, this time around, we can have
Might
many.
take a little more.
And then obviously the master plan spending. So this is so 48,000 above was the income, the reimbursements from FDOT. This is the actual leftover master plan spending that we expect to pay next year in the after basically October 1st. And then just $720 of discretion in it. And then finally, the last section is the CSX right-of-way fee, the insurance, the audit, the Florida Ports Council. And obviously the last two is the Nassau County Economic Development Board, which that has varied from 10,000 to 1,020, obviously. And then I believe we sponsored the Red Whale Festival one year, so there's nothing budgeted for that.
That CSX right away fee always gets me. We have to pay. We have to pay the railroad for them to run through our property.
We get a fee for their line that goes to West Rock.
That's for $750 on CSX.
Yeah.
That's for crossing,
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I think that's the right of way. It says right of way fee.
I
They
think,
could be right away over that crossing.
I think you check is for crossing.
It might be.
So the city pays 12 something,
Okay,
and you can check on that, don't know that for sure.
okay.
I believe it is.
Well, that would make more sense to me.
Gosh, I'm struggling with this, you as a historian,
Yeah.
all of these things.
But I can't remember what I did just.
All right. Want to get the bottom lines?
So total expenses is 513,000. The total expected income is 678,000. So we should have a surplus of 164,000. Now, we enter this year owing our attorney at least 100, somewhere around between $75,000 and $100,000. So
Right.
that money will be used for that purpose to catch us up on some expenses from this year that are falling behind. So
Aren't we getting reimbursed for some of that money from FMIT?
$10,000.
Just 10,
So we've submitted those bills going in study.
but there'll be more next year.
No,
No,
I thought this was a
Specific case.
for one specific case that they would reimburse for. I thought it was done.
okay,
So those were the only bills related. to it.
all right,
As far as again, that's a question for Patrick, but as far as I know,
all right, let's quickly go back to the top and anything in there you want to talk about. Yeah, under revenues.
So I just had a question about the budgeted amounts that are related to the cruise and the harbor admin. Is there a confidence level about those numbers? Because they're based on the volume of traffic.
So as long as the cruise ship comes in and we're charging the tariff rates, that should be pretty spot on. The harbor port administration fee, which is again based on contested traffic. Which I talked about the other day, if we had that fee in place today, or this past year, year to date, it would have been 13,000, I think you said. So a lot of people.
Any other concerns? All right, let's move into expenses. Any concerns about expenses? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to remind the board that you, the board added $20 to the chamber because I got the invoice for 300 instead of 280.
Oh, that's down at the bottom. Get that, all right, we'll get to that in a minute. All right. No concern about expenses.
Yeah,
Go
I'd like
ahead.
to talk about just the increases. So we have, you know, significant expenditure, which we've talked about for legal. We don't want that to continue. We don't foresee most of that continuing. We've significantly increased our wages. Just by nature of having David come on, and that expenditure is not sustainable for anything. It's not. So we have the ARPA funds, which will pay for the next
2 years.
2 years, minus a few months. And so we don't have a plan for that, for a gap. Because we don't have, when did you say it's 2 years of a gap before we start getting a share of court revenues?
Should be.
2 to 3 years.
And again, when y'all retained them, part of the strategy was that during those years that we would build a plan to fill that gap.
You bring it up, y'all were fired.
Yeah.
Not we anymore, y'all were fired.
Yeah.
Not, I mean,
He's
he's
gonna
already,
have to earn his salary. in the
Yeah.
future. He's already
yeah,
doing it.
ARPA grant.
So he's already doing it.
And I think you've done a really great job in terms of elevating the way you function as a board.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree that it's been just a breath of fresh air.
Well, I mean, and not for nothing, but he's already increased with the cruise and the harbor admin fees. So, I mean, he's already working the books to get money coming in. I mean, I wish my employees would have bought me $45,000 in a couple months. I might have given him a raise. But anyway, I mean, he's at it, he's getting it, he's getting at it. That right there is amazing to me. You already caught money in the background, and then you're working on that other cash.
Unless something changes, I think, Patrick is comfortable with his basically. You know, I've talked about that. I don't think there's gonna be any change in that. Of course, it'll be his legal fees.
Yeah, legal.
Okay, anything else about, commission direction? Thanks.
Do we have any policies in place about conferences and travel and how, you know, what rates we use for travel or maximum overnight? Have we ever looked at that?
No.
It's,
I'm almost certain we're not gonna touch that. Because David's gonna be doing most of the traveling and he's already budgeted for his expenses. I don't see,
And when you travel nowadays, you don't know if gasoline's gonna be $5 a gallon, if your hotel's gonna be $400 or $134.
And just, if there is no policy, obviously the state of Florida has a policy.
yes,
So obviously, can't buy alcohol.
right,
There's why reimbursement to the hotel. So there is a state of Florida policy put out by the Auditor General
yes.
for travel.
Okay, any other questions about it? All right, commission operations. Executive director salary, that's not gonna change, expenses and travel. Be the same. All right, I want to talk about this one. Accountant salary. You know, I can't tell you the extra work that Pierre has done for us and how much money he's brought in for us. And he has not asked for a salary increase for several years. I think it's time.
You remember when your last increase was? No,
I mean, we've got
So
the best
when
accountant,
the operator came in,
more than 4 years
we
ago.
increased our responsibility.
yes.
Yeah, that's-
So I would entertain any increase in his salary.
This annual salary of 18,000 works out to 1,500 a month. If we raise this at 1,900 a month, that would give you $100 more a week. That's something. I'd like to see more, but
I would say, let's take it up to 20,000 a year. That's what I recommend. Now, that's up to you guys, what you want to do.
So David, are you going to take on any of the grant administration activities from here? Yes.
That would be the accounting piece of it that I'm not qualified to do in terms of coordination. Filing the applications. And
Right.
with the state and all that stuff.
And just so the grants were never part of my responsibility.
Right.
They only became just because, you know, the port operator, and obviously before that was developed. I never dealt with grants.
Right.
Before we got to the ARPA,
So I would do.
and I've just taken it on the master plan again, because to keep the bill getting paid.
Yeah, so, if you go by what Mike was saying, and you go up to 19, that would bring them up to 22.8. Yep. You're saying to bring them up to 20?
I'd say it's worth at least what we're worth.
Yeah, I'm not-
I mean, maybe not quite as much here.
I'm gonna agree with that. No,
You know. He does save us a lot of money, and it keeps us
What would
surviving.
you like to see, Pierre?
You know.
Give us a number.
I'd be happy with any, obviously, costs have gone up, so it's been a while since we're increased, so I would be, you know, very happy with, you know, with whatever you guys feel appropriate. You know, I don't come with a number in mind, I know some of it I do, again, we charge you a fixed cost. If I have to spend a little bit extra time this month because I'm doing the ARPA grant reimbursements, you know, that's just, okay, you know, in other months I don't do that much, and so it kind of evens out hopefully, so.
I kind of agree with Mike with 1,900 a month.
based on his,
I think
And that would be what a year?
22.8.
I have a problem with it.
So in terms of like calculating this for other boards, how do you calculate the fee for like the school board?
So I don't do work for school.
No,
Okay.
mosquito control.
Oh,
Mosquito
mosquito
control.
control, sorry.
It's really, you know, the number of hours we spend,
Mhm.
the type of activities we do, who's required to do it. You know, sometimes for the ocean, for the mosquito control board, we actually pay their bill. We do Roseanne's job, and so,
Oh, wow.
you know, for the school board, we used to do an audit for them, so that's something completely different, so. So it just varies on what we have to do, who's doing what input,
I don't want to ask you how much, but is it more or less than what we pay?
that's less.
Should be.
But that's because most of what we do is what Roseanne does.
Yes,
I don't do, I show up at the meeting, for mosquito control.
I got you. So raise that to what,
1,900 a month, it would be 22.80.
22,800?
It's just percentage wise, a very high increase of the current rate.
Well, if you go by, it's been 4 years or 5 years, and if you do a cost of living of each year of 1%. You caught up for the last 4 years that he's been doing it without any increase in time, that big of a jump. Up a percentage point a year. But you're actually catching up.
And again, we're having 2 meetings a month now.
Yeah, there's 2 meetings a month, plus he's like we were saying, he does everything with the brand experience and. Working on the other stuff.
Plug that in there and then next month we'll vote on it. Unless there's a change.
If we're gonna do a cost of living increase for like annual, I think it is only right for Rosanna to get an increase from last year.
No problem with that either. I think it's hands down was.
Just with the inflation rate the way it is, you have to talk about it
We just done two increases on those items.
based on time spent, but not on
We
our
give
hourly rate.
an hourly wage increase too.
When was your last increase?
Never, since I came on board,
What did you start out at?
22.75 an hour.
But they only increase per hour.
Increase your hours.
Yeah.
Maybe increase our hours. You want from 20 to 30.
And I've been just staying, I haven't really expended the 10 extra hours you've given me, even with working with, Mr. Kaufman. So, I mean,
What's the pleasure, board?
So what would be a cost of living increase?
What do you normally see here for an annual possibility increase?
So mosquito control just did theirs, and did it 8%. So, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing, you know,
That we-
above 5% for sure, 5, 6, 7, 8%.
What do you get an hour?
2275.
50. $682.
It would add $1.82 an hour.
For a year, would be what? Extra.
$460. 5,460 would be 8%.
Go back, let's just go up to 25. A year,
About an hour.
25,000.
So you really can't. So the 23,535 includes not just her base. It includes her
Taxes.
or taxes, employer taxes.
Oh, you know, that's right, you can break that out.
Yeah, so
So if you did it by percentage, it would go from 2275 to 2455 now. Times that by 30 hours.
yeah, I think you're talking about her an hourly, increase, whether, you know, obviously her base is 20 hours a week. If she, you know, if she works 30 hours a week, the days, right, we're talking about that hourly increase. And right now in this budget, we're gonna budget 30 hours a week. Right.
And whether, I mean, if she doesn't use 30 hours, she doesn't charge us for 30?
Right.
That way you're working, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you do the percentage, like I said,
plug that in there for you.
So
8%.
yeah, 24.
Okay. All right. I think there's enough there for travel. You don't travel that much.
No.
Expenses. That'd be for office supplies and stuff. I think we're pretty much caught up on the heavy office supplies like printers and things like that. We don't.
Year would be 22,000.
All right. Any other questions about commission operation? I'll move on to discretionary and not.
Danny,
Yes,
Chairman, one item, that was in and I started talking about it is I'm going to be prepared to put a number forward, but you may want to think about doing some IT support. Make sure that we have maintaining and storage, correct and so forth. And, you know, those ends reach out from times to consultants. in the
Right.
past, and I don't know whether we captured, I don't think it's a big number, but I'm going to capture it necessarily.
we got a number, it was pretty big. Right?
Right, the initial IT support person that I contacted, he's not available right now, so it's hard to get a comparison from another IT, so I'll work at it and then submit it.
next.
Do we need to budget for the use of the commission chambers?
Oh, well, that's a good question, because they're gonna start charging us in December, I guess.
But you,
I don't know how much yet,
is that because of the equipment?
but no, it's because they gotta have a law enforcement officer. We have to sign an interlocal agreement with them to support that.
So if they're charging us for the guard, I guess you guys should find out about the equipment. Did they want to have a fee for that?
If we use it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would get all the fees together then. You're gonna,
David, you wanna look into that, how much they wanna charge us for the And I'll get you that email. I don't know if you were sent that or not. Okay, I'll send it to you. We have to sign an agreement. Good catch. Okay. Commission direct, not much we can do about that unless we want to lower.
So I'll just say, so I think, we used to have $400 for a website, so I'm assuming for that, you're taking care of that. The websites.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
So we put 0 there, that's about the only significant change. We've added $320 to the Nassau, Greater Nassau Chamber of Commerce, $300 budget.
Discretionary is for whatever we need it for, right?
Right.
Whatever comes up.
Chairman,
Yes, go ahead.
I just received an invoice from the website from Wix and it's $500. That's an annual fee.
It's not in there.
No, it's not because I just received it this afternoon.
Is that what we paid last week?
No. It went up
What did we pay last week?
400.
$406.
Yeah,
$400.06. Yeah, I'll see it.
And what is that for?
We need to put
the website.
For,
website posted.
Yeah, and we need the website.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, no.
okay. Plan is pretty cut and dry, discretionary, we'll leave that in there for now, might have to use some of that money to go back up to the website. We'll see. All right, port operations, pilot payment, nothing there. Right away fee, we gotta pay that, insurance, that's what it's gonna be.
Don't know. Have we received a renewal quote on that?
Yes.
No.
This invoice is due on October 1st for 13,758.
So 1,700.
There are 2 insurance companies that insure local government boards. One is through the League of Cities. I don't know if that's the one we have.
Who's the
I
bill? from?
think FMIT is from League of
There is
Cities.
another one, the one the city uses is the other one,
You want me to reach out to Miss Bach?
Yes,
or Dale Martin. would know.
they'll,
Okay.
Just a conversion.
And I know for the city, there was a difference, a market difference in rate.
The big jumps.
okay.
So the opt fee, we just need to confirm the contract, that fee is. I'll look that up to, and the same thing for the Port Council.
Yes, there's not really.
So that's the same.
So the audit to 25.8, will that be that all, isn't there? Are they doing a, the additional fee for another part of it?
So, yeah, so so just like this year, we paid 37,800, that is for the yellow book audit.
Yeah.
So for the grants, when we receive more than 750,000 in grants, each of the grants have to be audited separately or a separate report. They're charging $3,500 per grant. We said the port operator would pay for it, so we need to go to the port operator. Okay, it's directly related to the grants.
So then it'll just be the 25.8, not the 33, right?
So we haven't billed for those.
No, not yet for the excess above the 25.8. That's this year.
Economic Development Board, I think we need to leave that like it is.
There's a lot going on, but I'm okay with leaving it that word it is right now, but there's a lot of things in work right now.
Well, so we see some activity from it, and we can do something else. All right, that's the budget in a nutshell. Next week, next month, let's see, this September, we have to approve this next month,
Yes.
and it takes effect on.
So this is, so just, so let's talk about custom house for a minute.
Yeah.
So obviously, what do we want to budget for custom house for next year, or is that all gonna be built with port operator?
Haley?
I think, you know, operations and maintenance, according to the operating agreement, they both will operate on them.
You guys got that web stuff coming up, right?
Well, that,
So
we're getting the
the
grant to pay
agreement
part of it.
The agreement with the,
As agreed to.
the CP is a upfront fee of not to exceed 56,000. We're getting 24,000 of that in the grant security grant. The operator agreed to match the buildings. And then there's about $12,000 a year annual maintenance recurring cost. So
You know, who's got that, who's got to be on the operator?
that would be my recommendation based on the operating agreement. And actually, the operator, we saw also more conversation to do about it. Based on the operating agreement, it's an operating and maintenance cost.
Okay. Yeah, where to put the link down.
So what I provided you is, so this is, so obviously there's 4 parts actually to the budget. So the first part that we just did is the OHPA port operations. There's the customs house, there's the port security, and then there's the construction and maintenance reserve. So what this is last year's budget that we adopted. So this will come in the form of a resolution to adopt at the next meeting. Unless we wait until we have 2 meetings in September. So we'd like it adopted obviously before the start of the fiscal year. So this is the format that it'll be. Just so obviously I'll update the numbers and things like that, what we just updated tonight. The customs house will have revenues to offset the expenses from reimbursements from the port operator. The port security is just in and out, it's just billed and reimbursed by the operator. And then the construction and maintenance reserve. So David, if we know of capital projects or anything like that, that we need to put in there, obviously there's a 5,000 monthly contribution is the only thing we have budgeted in there right now. For this year also. So if we know of any capital projects that we're going to do that will require matching funds or anything like that that are going to come in, we should try and include them in the budget if we know about it.
Yeah, so I plan on sitting down with the operator next week or two to start building the, not only next year's capital budget, but trying to put together a 5-year budget. We'll have some look ahead in terms of what our requirements are. On the port security, it's my understanding that the operator collects the security fees as part of their billing, and they also pay for security cost. So that may be something that we want to also look at as we go through and kind of scrub the operating agreement. Maybe one thing we might consider doing is just having that be part of the operating agreement with the operator, like revenue to pay the cost and manage the contract rather than coming through us and reimbursing each other.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as I understood it, you know, that's a question for Patrick, is for legal for us, the grants and for whatever. That's right. So that's why we did it in that convoluted way where we bill it and then pay it.
Okay, any questions about the budget? Any further questions? All right, look over it, this, what, 2 weeks, we're gonna have another meeting in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. 2 weeks, okay. We'll try to approve it at that meeting. Any changes you wanna make, be sure to be prepared and talk about them. But other than that, we'll take what's presented here with the changes that Pierre will make and present to us next meeting. And we'll go from there. Any questions? All right, very good. Pierre, you got anything else for us?
No.
Okay. Everything else is. All right, David, you're up.
Tara, want to do my report?
You're up.
I'm up.
Whatever you want to do.
So, this is a tariff, let's just make sure we get through the water next one.
All right, let me pull it up here.
And it is through supplemental.
So.
3 weeks, okay, good.
As you know, we just recently approved the amended tariff. And a lot of that work done on that was coordinated with former operator. And so when the transfer was made, Butch and his team, she said Mr. Gilbert and his team, took a look again through the tariff, and there were some things that we had taken out from the previous tariff that really needed to be retained in there because of customer billings and so forth. So we scrubbed it with that over the last few days. There's a number of amendments that we're suggesting that we approve tonight so that it can go into effect. We'll walk through each of those with you, just to make sure that you see it. The first change really is on the first page right there. Historically, the operator managed the filing of the tariff through this publishing company, Discarded Systems Group, and they paid the monthly fee of $100 to do that. They would file, not only file the tariff, but review it to make sure that all the language was appropriate, and then they're available. The edits need to be made to make those edits for us and resubmit. So the previous operator was not clear on why we were using that system, and under the current operation, we now understand there's no value to it, and current operator has agreed to continue to pay for that service. So we're going back and doing it that way, which I think is very good for us administratively, and making sure that we're doing it right. Very good.
You want to tell them what that service does for us?
Yeah, I said they follow the tariff on our behalf. They will review the language. As you may recall, when we did it the last time, we retained private counsel to review the language on our behalf. That is something that I understand this group would do in the future. And then again, anytime we amend it, we would send them the amendments and they would incorporate them in the file on our behalf as well. Scroll down, get down to the next change. The next one again is more of a organizational thing. We changed who the customers contact for paying bills and revenues to solutions@worldwideterminals.com. That's just a little cleaning it up. That's how new operator is receiving that information.
Next one, page 24.
Thank you.
So here we had a charge for fresh water with the ship takes on water. We had a fee of $4.50 per ton. That is not necessarily fully compensatory depending on how much volume the ships take on. So we added was really customary in a lot of ports, a minimum charge of $100 plus $150 per fee each time that we do that. Really just to compensate for that service. On the bunkering, item 252, that's the new item that we put in place as a potential revenue source that other ports charge, and we really use the same language that Port of Jacksonville uses, and Port Canaveral has a similar fee, and they charge, they call it a flowage rate, which is what we had before, which is per gallon or per ton of fuel that they load, we would get a percentage of it. I really had no idea how much that would generate at the time. It's not something we've ever really tracked. But Mr. Gilbert, his team has had experience with it and did some calculations, and it basically was very, very nominal now. And would require more cost to administer. Because that attracting the volume that they're actually going to handle. So we switched rather to a volume-based fee to just an access fee of $100. And again, when we decided to add this, it was both a revenue opportunity, but it was also an opportunity to help us regulate that service a little better in terms of making sure that the companies that were providing monthly services have the proper licenses and insurance. So the operator understands that and is putting in place a system to make sure that all that information is captured.
Okay.
Next item, we did not have, or I think we may have had it before and took it out. Yeah. A rate for refrigerated cargo, and it's been recommended by the operator that we go ahead and put that back in. That's the rate that was recommended, $5.65 per LOA. For that's for dockage of the refrigerated cargoes. Line handling, again, the rates that these are rates that were similar to what we had originally. It's not the same as what we had previous. And then we had changed it to, rather than being based on LOA, we had it based on tonnage of the vessel. And this is easier for the operator to manage based on, the information that they collect from the vessel, and it's also more compensatory to make sure that their costs are covered for that service. Security fees, we added to the break bulk a 40-cent per short ton fee in addition to the fee per LOA. And that's really to capture any business that might generate, that's more of a domestic in nature, that may not actually get on the ship, that comes in and goes in by truck and out by truck, or what have you, that would otherwise not be paying a security fee. So in that case, they would pay the 40 cents per short ton as part of their security fee. So they get a lost revenue opportunity for certain cargo. It's not, hopefully going forward, it's not a big number. We don't want to be doing a lot of domestic cargo at the terminal, but it's something that we had done previously and we're not charging for. The next on 376, the port administration fee. And the same with, we did the same thing going back to the bunkering fee. We raised these rates from what was previously presented. They're 25% higher than what they were before, and that is to essentially cover the added cost of administering those fees, monitoring the activity, billing the client, the customer, receiving that income, and then transmitting it to OHPA. So rather than explaining all that in the tariff, we just agreed to increase the fee to capture that. And then we'll be coming back to this body within the next 30 days with an agreement between, as a amendment to the operating agreement between OHPA and the operator, how those fees are going to be collected, how frequently, and how they're going to pay that to OHPA. So we'll still get the same forecasted income that we had previously. Docking and undocking is related to the tug. And again, when we did the tariff the last time, because we were not getting complete information from the operator, we based the recommendation on what the rates were for tug service in the Port of Jacksonville and what the tariff rates were for those services there. After speaking with the operator, our costs here are significantly different than what they experience in Jackson, just because of the volume of activity that they have, they spread those fixed costs against. And so we want to make sure that the tug service was at least compensatory, that they were covering the cost of capital and operating.
Now, this is using our tug.
That's using our,
And any tug you have to call from Jacksonville.
they pay them
Much higher.
yes, significantly. And they would pay those rates directly. Again, this was just establishing We had in the tariff before that, just the language above that said that we would provide electrical power for refrigerated containers, but we didn't put a rate in there, so this just establishes the rate at $52.50 per day, with half day going in. Item 400, charges for containers. Again, this is similar to the security. This is for containers that enter the terminal that are not loaded on the vessel. We're going to charge them a fee of $3.62 per short ton, which is, you know, the same we charge for containers going on a smaller vessel. And then here we added back. Scroll on down. Yeah, so under the recommendation from the previous operator, we had all the different break bulk commodities were essentially being charged similar fee. So we condensed them all into a minimum number of categories, but we left out yachts and boats as a separate category. It's one that has a different rate structure than the other break bulk, so we went back and added that back in. So these are yachts and boats that get loaded on ships. And there's a different rate whether they arrive to the terminal by truck and are loaded landside, or whether they are loaded out of the water directly on the ship. Then we added back the handling costs. So previously, we took that out of the operator's recommendation. It was recommended that we go ahead and add that out in the way that the customers are accessing the tariff. Because then I am noticing now, if you go back up, there's just a minor grammatical on item 505, the second line. Should be trailers.
Not good.
Wording right, the trailer. I think that's, is that all?
I think it's it.
Do you want this protected general first time?
So, but you may talk to that. So my understanding now is that once the commission adopts this, you guys will send it out to all the customers and advertise it, and then there's a 30-day before it becomes effective. Is that correct?
That's great. So the first item that we kept $100 fee per month to have them provide that service as part of that. So we need to post or communicate with all our customers. That company will post it for 30 days and then submit it to FMC. In that way, everyone's aligned with where we.
So you want to just say a date,
So effective
October
date,
1st, maybe
like October 1.
October 1.
We could, yeah, we could make October.
All right.
Do we have like a LOI or something about the fee sharing agreement that you discussed?
That's something that we don't have it. We have a verbal agreement on it. We have to sit down with the attorneys if we have to. And I'll come back to you guys. Either at the next meeting or the one after.
And the next item is the resolution.
Yeah, the resolution, once you vote on it,
Amended
the resolution all approving the changes.
Right?
I'm just curious, Mr. Gilbert, how the costs that our customers see, so the tariff rates and then just other costs compare to your other port in general.
So they're very similar, and as I went through this, I searched Savannah, I searched Jacksonville, I looked at our tariffs from Wilmington, and we're in line.
Very competitive.
Yeah, I feel we're at. There's a couple small increases in there, but minimal compared to, I think it was 2016 the last time these tariffs were.
How do our power rates compare for what we pay for power?
Can't answer that one honestly, because we don't do refrigerated units in Wilmington. And that was one of my focus. That's just the increase. from what the customers then pay.
I know in Bernardino, we pay the second highest rates in the state. Florida has expensive power.
That's good to know. We're starting to rent a house.
Okay, what's your pleasure? We need a motion on the resolution to amend.
I'll make a motion to amend the resolution. With the correction.
Accept the resolution to amend.
Correction.
Okay, second. Is there a second? Motion been made and seconded to accept the resolution to amend the port tariff that was presented to us tonight. Any further discussion?
I think all these changes are great. I don't have an issue with the substance of the changes, but I would like to see a fee sharing agreement in place before we actually approve the tariff.
Well, we need to get it approved so it can be submitted. And within that 30-day time limit to adopt it on October 1st. I'm confident that we can get an agreement. I trust, but I've only known him for a short time, but I know he was a lot more honest than what we had before. Yes, I said that. I'm
So
sorry.
I trust Mr. Gilbert also. I just would like to be sure that the timing of payments and the particulars are mutually understood. Not that he would renege on any promise, but that we may not actually have a meeting of the minds on the particulars. So that's all. And we continuously seem to kind of put the cart before the horse with written agreements. And so I would just like to, I would support this at the same time we have a fee sharing agreement.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, no.
I'm voting no, only because we do need that agreement.
Okay, motion carries. All right. Make sure we get that next month. All right. What else you got?
That's all I have. As far as my report is concerned, you have the written report. Just wanted to remind y'all that I'll be out of town next week at the Florida Ports Council. That's the meeting. We should have that with those meetings, have approved our security project related to the IT system. As we now sent you guys described, we'll have to have the next second meeting in September. We'll be getting hopefully by then a PTGA grant agreement from DOT that now to cover our share of the IT project. So we'll execute that and then also at the same time execute the MOA with CDP and a agreement with the operator, to make the cost share. So that will be taking place in the next between now and the second meeting in September.
Okay, David, I don't want to see any pictures on Facebook from sloppy joes.
That'll be just right.
He's on a county board.
Yeah. There you go. I know where that's coming.
We did have a good meeting earlier this afternoon with our master planning team and with the operator, bring him up to speed. And, have pilots in to talk about some of their concerns and concepts, and so continue to make progress on the master plan. We'll be scheduling the next stakeholders meeting pretty soon, so stay posted. Whatever we do submit to the stakeholders, be assured we will send to you guys in advance so that you at least know everything that the stakeholders know. And then we will also be looking to schedule a workshop with you guys, with the full commission, to review the plan and to talk about those objectives and that type of stuff. So, still a lot of work to do, but we're making good progress.
That it?
That's it.
But anything you want to talk about?
Yes.
You don't have to get it, just do it from there. I don't want you getting up.
I'd like to introduce Tom Clark. Tom Clark's our operations manager up in Wilmington, North Carolina. We got him and Sydney Garden here. Sydney's our recruiter dedicated to our operation. She takes care of us here and in Wilmington. We held a job fair today. We've got that extends through tomorrow. We've got open interviews for anybody who wants an interview over tomorrow, 8 to 5, and we can make amends if we need to go longer. We've had great participation. We posted 4 separate positions and we're looking at about a 14 to 16 head increase, team members, skilled operators and general labor. We had great participation today, extended offers to 6 potential team members today. And got a pretty full schedule tomorrow. I think we've probably seen over 200 applications over the course of the last several days. And we're seeing some quality applicants. We're very, very excited. Also, we're very excited because those team members will roll from worldwide terminal team members to Savage team members October 1st, and they will have a nice jump in benefits that they will hopefully enjoy.
Can you give us an idea of how many of those applicants that you receive, applications you received are local within this county?
There's quite a few. We did get a bunch that are from all over. Everyone that we interviewed today and the ones that we've reached out to try to get in over the next couple of days have been local within the county and into Jacksonville. I think that's the next county. I'm still trying to learn my geography. But there's some and some from southeast Georgia as well. But we interviewed a couple that's right on the island.
You know, we like to have people from Nassau County employed and support. And coming in from Duval and Georgia is not an uncommon thing. I don't know if you know this number, but about 65% of the people that work in Nassau County leave the county to work. So you're only talking 35% come from outside to work in the county. We're trying to get that changed, and hopefully in the future we can do that, especially when Crawford Diamond opens up. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I'm glad to have y'all with us, and come back anytime. Good luck on you finding employees.
So what's the salary range of these new jobs?
18 to $35 an hour.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, we really do have a very nice benefit package goes along with that.
So the military base does, the Navy base does a spouses and retirees or discharged service members. They do a program to place them locally. I don't know if you get copied on those emails that we
That's
get.
Kings Bay.
from Kings Bay.
On the table and we're sponsoring it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Yeah.
We're very military still in the company. I guess we're now, but we're getting.
Oh, wow.
We have a progressive veteran program that is right up our alley.
It's a month already.
So by the time all the hiring's done, what will our employee count be?
That's kind of a moving target. I'm gonna guess 70-ish. I feel like we'll bring on, we use a lot of staffing
Of course,
help.
yeah.
And you will still need to do that because there's ebbs and flows in business. You know, today there's no ships at the first, so
Right.
you need 100 people. Right, 2 ships, then you need 100 people. So we'll have to bridge that gap. But what we're trying to get to is have a good base team that we can depend on a daily basis and then supplement. But I feel like we'll be in the 70s somewhere. So as we was coming out today, I was talking with Sydney on the plan we're looking at like 14 to 16 now. And then what we'll do is we'll hold, and hopefully every one of them will stick and everyone will make the background and the drug test. We'll get them on board, find out we've made great hiring decisions. And then we can kind of work for 45 days or so. see how we're at, and if we need to make another push to get to where we need to be, then we'll do another fair again.
Very good.
That's posted if you have any feedback on, housing affordability and other worker concerns, because that is a big concern for the commission, the county commission, for the city commission, is, workforce housing. Because if you make $18 an hour, it is actually really hard to afford a house. Really, or in Nassau
Yeah,
County.
that's why a lot of them come from out of county.
And that's who you're at.
Yes.
I mean, it's all crazy noise.
So we need creative problem solving ideas for how to tackle that.
I've lived in a man camp for 5 months.
Ah.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah. All right. Which I want to say, I am very happy with what we've gotten out of you so far and the cooperation you've shown and the willingness to sit down with us and negotiate, talk, open up. I mean, it's refreshing. It really is, and we thank you for that. And please thank the rest of your staff, and so hope it's gonna be a good venture. Okay?
It only works if we're part.
That's exactly right. Communication is the key. All right, anybody got anything else? Oh, yes, just want to congratulate new commissioner, just got elected, Justin. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple months. All right, and Ray probably was busy today. I don't know.
I talked to him the other day, he was COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You know that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sure he feels better though, that he won, so.
Yeah.
Make him feel better. Yeah,